What is up, my viewers? Spang here, bringing you an important update video, especially if you are one of my viewers who submit replays. Now, I'm also using this as a video to say, hey, I'm back. If you're new to my channel, you might not know where exactly I went, but I'll get into that and what's going on with everything there right after this little update, because this is the main reason I'm doing this video. And it's to say, in the past, I've tried to do replays. You know, I do viewer submitted replays, right? And every now and again a new patch comes out, and then I'm trying to do old replays when the newer patch is out, and I've never been able to get replay compatibility to work. Just for whatever reason, it's a bit of a complicated mod, and it's not just install and it's done. It's you have to tweak this and that, and you have to get it working so right. So I've never really been able to find the time to fiddle around with it to get it to work. So it's always been, if you sent me old replays, I had to keep the old client version installed and get them out of the way until I could basically go on to newer replays and just get rid of that old client, update it. And so it was kind of this whole hassle. Now, in the future, I'm going to be just, as soon as a new patch comes out, I'm just pretty much going to nuke all the old replays, except for maybe, well, all the old viewer submitted replays. And you might say, well, that's a bit harsh, but it is just a sad reality of the fact. It's too much of a hassle. Now, I might do like 1 or 2 days of old viewer submitted replays, and that might be like just 3 or 4 the day after a patch comes out. So it won't be completely nuked, but it will mostly be nuked. And so it's kind of just a decision I have to make, because I'm a one-man production team here. I do all the editing, all the commentating, all the sifting through replays to see if I'm going to upload them or not. Now, speaking of that, some of you have been submitting replays while I've been gone. Not many, but some of you have, and there's a lot of old replays in the backlog. Again, these unfortunately fall under this. A lot of these game clients I don't even have anymore, because when I got back, and again, I'll explain to some of you know where I was and some don't, but when I got back, my hard drive crashed. I lost everything in terms of the solid state, all my old replays, all my old game clients, so I can't even do older versions now without trying to get replay compatibility to work, which, like I said, not gonna fiddle with it. I'm a busy man, and I don't exactly have the time nor patience to try and figure it out. So unfortunately, all those replays previously sent in before this video have been just lost to the ages. Now, like I said, I'm sorry, I really am, but it's just the way this channel's going to be run. So from now on, like I said, replays must be current. No older versions of the game, please. But now that that's out of the way, and you know exactly what's going on with your replays now, I am back. I have had a few good games with 9.0, and those will be uploaded. 9.1 actually comes out today, the day I'm recording this. So I'm going to get my, I think I have 3 good 9.0 replays that I've had since I've been back. And again, my standards for good, when it comes to my own videos, I'm a bit harsher of a critic. I said it in the videos of the past. I tend to be a lot more lenient with the replays you guys send in, but my own videos, it has to be an absolutely stellar game. Like, I have to absolutely just completely dish out the damage. If I'm not getting Mastery Badge Ace Tanker, it's probably not getting uploaded unless it is exceptional in some way. So, like I said, I'm a bit harsher with my own replays than I am with yours. But back to where I have been and what I'm getting back from. So if you've been following my channel for a while, you know I'm in the military. Don't let the beard fool you. The scruff is from R&R or reconstitution, whatever you want to call it, because I just got back from deployment. I've spent the last 4.5 months in Afghanistan, and yeah, wasn't really able to do much. I wanted to get a lot of replays, a lot of videos done and uploaded before I had left, and kind of just leave them unpublished on my channel and have them come out like once a week or once every 2 weeks. And that just wasn't able to happen. There's a lot of just last minute events that came up that prevented me from doing that, that required my attention more than just the side hobby. And don't get me wrong, I love this hobby. It's a great hobby. I get a lot of enjoyment and fun from it, but again, at the end of the day, it is just a hobby. And I'm doing it for me. If I'm not enjoying it, I'm not going to be doing it. Um, I'm not here to cater to you guys. I love you guys. I'm glad you love my stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm not here to please you. I'm here because I love doing this. But yeah, Afghanistan, that was a fun time. And I've had about 2 weeks of R&R now, which some of this, don't get me wrong, this hasn't been growing out for 2 weeks. I shaved about halfway through, so this is about a week's worth or something. I don't know. I don't grow facial hair that fast, even though I'm 24. But I grow fast enough to where I have to shave daily, which is kind of an inconvenience. But anyway, moving forward, I will be continuing to do World of Tanks commentaries. And how often I do my own replays is strictly going to depend on how often I get a match I think is worthy of it. How often I have a match I'm like, I need to commentate that. That was amazing. Which, again, harsher on my own stuff than I am on yours. So it's, especially now, I feel like I've become even more strict in my absence than when I've left. So it's possible you might be seeing fewer and fewer replays from me, but they will be kind of more and more exceptional. At least I hope so. I'm still part of Forge. I joined Forge before I left. I joined Forge about 2 weeks out before I got the notice I was deploying, and then I went into this whole flurry of pre-deployment training, and I've been getting back in the groove with Forge and just kind of getting my feet wet again. Now, originally Forge was a temporary clan move, but it's kind of turned into something more permanent. My old clan seems to have disbanded. So, okay, Second Clan Wars comes out, right? And this is October, I think, of last year. And I decide, well, while I do love my old clan, you know, we are having fun times and everything, and it's just good times all around. It's just they aren't up there. They're like just a fun. They were trying to get Landing Clan Wars. They were doing good things, making good progress, but they weren't anything like Forge or Villain or Relic or any of those higher tier clans. And I am definitely a higher tier player. My stats speak for themselves. And so what I thought about doing at the time I heard about the Second Clan Wars campaign announcement was, I'm going to mercenary. I'm going to kind of just send out applications to these different clans, look around for these higher tier clans. I had some buddies in Relic, I had some buddies in Forge and Alloy, and I had some buddies in just a few different clans. I even think I have a friend in Havoc or something, a friend in, what's the clan? Simp, that one. It's been a while since I've seen Simp tags around, so I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure they exist still. I don't know. Anyway, regardless. So I looked around and figured out what clans I wanted to apply to, and I started off with Forge because I liked my experiences with Forge members in the past. I had good times, so I sent an application to them and said, well, if they don't take me, I'll talk to my buddies in Relic. If they don't take me, I'll talk to my buddies in Simp. And I knew someone was going to take me. I have 8 tier 10 tanks, and I have good stats. So I knew someone was going to take me. So I decided to mercenary out, and then when it was all under the agreement that, you know, if my old clan, because I'm not too much into the clan wars thing outside of the campaigns. I mean, I like clan wars, don't get me wrong. I like earning gold, but at the same time, it's not really at the top of my priority list. And with how much I have going on, it's not like I'm trying to be NLG pro or anything. So it was supposed to be temporary. And I told my guys in SMRT, the old smaller clan I was a part of, that, yeah, I'd eventually be back. It's just I didn't see a point in changing clans when I was about to deploy for 4.5 months. And again, that's a pretty short deployment. So but I said I would switch when I came back, probably, depending on various circumstances. I get back, find out that my old SMRT clan apparently kind of disbanded in a sense. The founder apparently renamed it or created a new one or something. It's no longer SMRT. A lot of my friends in it are gone. And so it was just like, and I've made so many friends in Forge in the meantime, it just didn't make sense. So for the moment, I'm staying with Forge. Now, if that old clan leader comes back and reaches out to me, I'll think about it. I will seriously give it consideration because, like I said, I'm more playing World of Tanks just to have a good time. And I'm not, the only time I'm really concerned about being in a top tier clan is when it's a campaign status sort of thing. But yeah. So I actually start work tomorrow, or tonight, depending on how you look at things, considering I'm back on the night shift. And things will be kind of more or less settling back into the way they are. You know, I'll be doing replays a little more frequently now, kind of more as I get them, because I did have a healthy backlog of replays of my own games, because I was getting a lot of good games. I was kind of like, I'm still learning the game again. Don't get me wrong, I'm still, you know, kicking butt and taking names and, you know, doing all that fun stuff. I'm still getting my fair share of good matches here and there, but nothing really great or exceptional so far, except for like 3 that I want to commentate at the moment. And so I'll be doing replays as they come from you guys. And my whole policy on that now is I'm going to more or less just look at it, do a quick commentary of it, and at the end of the commentary, if I say, well, that wasn't really a good replay, I'm just going to toss it out, send a reply email to the person who sent it in and say, sorry, I just don't feel like this is upload worthy, but thank you anyway for sending it in. And it's just going to be one of those things of, if I really can't commentate it, if it doesn't hold my attention as a commentator, it's probably not going to hold your attention as a viewer. So but that's the best method I found, is to just play every single one of them, record a commentary for every single one of them, and then at the end of the commentary say, yay or nay, and we'll see. I think that policy will work out well, and at the same time I'm going to be expanding my channel a bit in basically the dead space between World of Tanks replay commentaries and the times I'm not playing World of Tanks. I will be doing other like little indie games or older games like Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, just playthroughs, let's plays of those, and having fun with that. So I'm going to expand my channel to do, because it is Spang's Games. When I started the channel, I kind of had the focus and the mentality of, yes, at this particular moment, the main focus of my channel is going to be World of Tanks. But at the same time, there will be, I want to do other games. I'm a gamer. I'm not a World of Tanks player only. I'm a gamer in general. And so I will be doing like uploads of Let's Plays and matches if I end up playing Battlefield 4, which I do have. I mean, I've played it a little bit. I think I've played a total of like 20 hours or something. So I'm not an extensive Battlefield 4 player. The only time I really play it was when I'm playing it with friends. Kind of same goes for, I recently downloaded the most recent Ghost Recon game. I can't remember what it's called. It's the free-to-play one, though, and that's kind of fun as well, but it's a similar situation with Battlefield. I don't really play it much, except when friends are on. So it's those games I don't really enjoy. I can't really solo those games. It's not fun for me. Back in the day, I remember I could play 2142, the old-school Battlefield game, just after Battlefield 2, and have a lot of fun just playing by myself. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if I changed, or I definitely know Battlefield changed, but I don't know if it changed enough to the point where I just couldn't enjoy playing it alone. I mean, even Bad Company 2, there was something about Bad Company 2. I could play it alone and still have a good time. But I don't know. Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, I haven't really been able to get into. So don't get me wrong. Battlefield 4 as a whole is definitely fun. It's interesting. They made some good changes. I like the fact that you're in 5-person squads. I still want to see the return of 6-person squads. I want to see, you know, kind of just a few more things where it's less, I don't know, Battlefield 4 suffers a lot of the same problems from Battlefield 3, and that's that the new players really are at a disadvantage. I mean, in Battlefield 2 and Battlefield 2142, you did unlock new weapons and gadgets and the such, but they weren't essential. You could still start off as a new player in those games and be effective. In Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, I feel like it is much more difficult to be so. And that's an unfortunate direction the game has taken, but it's still fun. But like I said, I have a lot of indie games. I'll probably be doing Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, Star Wars Republic Commando. There's a few indie games I have, like Child of Light and this, that, and the other, just on Steam. And I'll probably be doing those as I buy them. I find games that look interesting, so we'll see what happens with those. I want to really get back into the Brobot series because that was good fun. That's going to be an editing intensive Let's Play because I do want to continue the typography with that. I do have old material from it, and I gotta, first of all, I'm not even sure if we're going to be able to continue it because that's highly dependent if my friend is willing to get back into it with me. We've been away from it for so long, I don't know if we can, but we'll try. I'll at least reach out to him and be like, hey buddy, you want to get this started back up again? Of course I'll do that after I've edited the old material I still have sitting on my hard drive. And if you're going, well, you said you lost everything on your hard drive. I have 3 hard drives, okay? It's most of my recorded video stuff. Everything I have recorded for my video editing is saved to a separate hard drive, a 1 terabyte hard drive. And so when I say my hard drive crashed, I mean the one with my operating system, the one with my World of Tanks installed, the one with all my replays. So that's the one that crashed. Fortunately, I did not lose the over 500 gigabytes of old video material I still have sitting on there. So I'll get around to editing that. Now, speaking of that, I do have, and just Let's Plays in general, Spec Ops The Line. You will be seeing some uploads from that because that same friend I did Brobots with bought me that game on Steam under the agreement because he wants me to do a Let's Play of it. He really wants me to do a Let's Play of Spec Ops The Line with my perspective as a military member and all this sort of thing. So it's I am a man of my word. So I will be doing that. That will be started sometime in the near future. I don't want to put a timeline on that because I still have a lot of stuff to take care of. I'm still getting situated. There's still a lot of things to get in order and get settled back into. So I want to say I'll be starting that at least sometime this month, if not this month, next month. So be on the lookout for that. Again, the primary focus of my channel is still my World of Tanks stuff. That is the stuff I will be doing consistently. The other Let's Plays, I mean, I'm just going to be doing it for fun. Like I said, this channel is just for fun. It's for me to, you know, upload a few videos, have a good time, and, you know, kind of share my fun with other people. And if they enjoy it, great. If they don't, well, then they don't. And it's whatever. And at the same time, maybe make a little bit of cash on the side with my YouTube partnership because, you know, I'm putting a lot of time and effort into this. And why shouldn't I get paid for my hard work, right? And providing you with entertainment. And so, and it's not like I'm getting paid much, and it's not like I'm doing this to try and substitute, you know, eventually with the hopes of becoming YouTube famous. YouTube famous. No, I'm not trying to become YouTube famous. I'm not doing it for the fame or the money or anything that might come down the road. I'm doing this because, again, it is fun. And I hope that comes across my videos, and I hope that comes across with you guys too. I hope you guys see me having fun and you find some enjoyment from that as well. I've always been a real type of person. But, so what many of you are probably wondering at this point, what about Afghanistan? What was that like? And because probably a lot of you aren't in the military. A lot of you won't ever get the opportunity to do something like that. Now, I won't lie to you. It was very easy as far as deployments go. Not the easiest in the history of deployments ever, but first of all, let me just clarify something. First of all, I'm Air Force. We tend to have things a bit cushier than the other services, in terms, especially the Marines and Army. Navy, maybe not so much, but definitely cushier. The way one of my sergeants put it, he's like, you're in the Air Force, you will never go to a location where you will not have heating and air conditioning. And I was pretty much like, I can live with this. So we were living in a hardened structure. It was basically a building that was composed of a bunch of shipping crates welded together and made up to look like a building. They did a good job of it, don't get me wrong. It looked convincingly kind of like a building, but still, we were inside. There was a central hallway because they built the crates facing inward, and there was a hallway, and so it was pretty nice. We were inside. We had heating, we had AC, we had like dial-up speed internet that was unstable and like to disconnect, and but we still had internet, so we were able to keep touch with friends and family via Facebook and Skype, so it wasn't too terrible. And we had indoor plumbing, hot water. Not once did we run out of water. It was a danger, don't get me wrong. We could have, but just because of the time frame we were there and the circumstances around it, we never did. So indoor plumbing was great. Hot water was great. We had actual meals prepared. Now, it wasn't the tastiest food ever. It wasn't the best food ever, but it wasn't MREs. And if you don't know what an MRE is, it's just this field ration, more or less, that is going to sustain you. But it is not very tasty. Some people like to disagree, but MREs are not real food. So it's certainly a step up. But at the same time, it was worse food than I was, normal people have that they were making us. And, these living conditions weren't quite ideal because, well, I mean, we're still living in shipping containers on mattresses that are more or less mattresses and more the mattress supports that go under them. Some people know them as box springs, and yeah. So foam mattress toppers and air mattresses were the main ways of getting comfortable. But again, we weren't sleeping on cots, we weren't sleeping on the ground. This is the Air Force. We were there and in an advisory capacity, basically to help the Afghans build up their Air Force and train their air crew. Now, my mission specifically, kind of similar. It was related, but I'm not going to get into too much details. I'm still going to try and hold true to OPSEC to a degree. I mean, OPSEC doesn't really apply so much anymore since the operation is completed, in a sense, and by that I do not mean that the Air Force is done over there. I just mean our mission is done, so our details aren't so essential or crucial anymore. But Afghanistan as a whole, we were in the nation's capital of Kabul, and so pretty built up area, pretty secure. We only got hit with indirect fire IDF twice, and that wasn't even anywhere. It didn't even land anywhere near me. No one shot at me. I was around the Afghans a lot, though, and they were very nice of a people, very understanding. They they told us before we went over there. They're very friendly, very personal people that takes, being friendly and hospitable and personal relations very seriously. It's more important to them than being on time if it means, just taking that extra moment to get to know you better as a person. And so I really got to see that. And a lot of their military is eager to learn, is eager to become self-sustaining. And, they really want to take the reins. And so they were doing a good job of, absorbing the information as much as they could. You have to keep in mind that this country is coming pretty much from nothing in terms of an Air Force, and we're trying to give them an Air Force at a very advanced level in a very short period of time. So I think they're doing pretty well on picking up the information. And the Air Force is obviously going to continue that mission as long as they are able. Now, that all depends on how events unfold over there, especially in the political realm, because they have to sign the Status of Forces Agreement and all this stuff. But as a whole, speaking from my experiences over there, it was a nice time. Our mission wasn't too, highly paced because, again, we were going at the pace the Afghans want us to, and they're kind of this more... They don't have the same sense of... I don't know. They just work differently. And it's definitely was a bit of an adjustment. So, good time overall. Had my body armor and weapons on me at all times in some capacity. The body armor did come off, but it was never really too far from where I was. But it was always stored in a secure location. And I never had anything less than my sidearm on me. And quite frequently, depending where we were traveling to, we'd have our armor and M4 on us. And got to travel around the country a little bit, but mostly just aircraft, stopping off at different bases and the so on and so forth. So not too anything too out of the ordinary, but definitely good times, good experience. I'm very fortunate to have been put on this deployment and get that sort of exposure. It was a little bit different than what the Air Force normally does. So I was happy with it as a whole. And I might be going on more deployments in the future. Right now, I'm currently an enlisted man in the Air Force. I'm trying to become an officer in the Air Force. I want to be a pilot. Now you see the glasses, obviously, and you're like, how can you be a pilot? Well, that's because the Air Force does allow pilots with eye surgery. The trick is the Air Force has to be the one approving and providing the eye surgery. Actually, I don't think they have to provide it anymore. They just have to approve the specific technician as, one of the organizations they trust. And last I checked, it had to be PRK. That's my phone. Ignore that. And simply because the Air Force does not trust LASIK due to the different nature of the procedures. They may have changed their minds on that because every optometrist I talked to said they want that the Air Force's concerns around LASIK were unfounded. So we'll see what the Air Force has decided. I am talking with the optometry clinic at my current base about getting everything started on the eye surgery. So I should actually have that done before I get back and try to get my commission as an officer again, because I was working at that before. Certain life events basically caused an interruption in that. I went enlisted instead, and I've been doing this for about 2 years now. And so I do plan on going back to that officer commission and trying for a pilot slot and becoming a pilot. And at that point, I'm not sure what the likelihood of me deploying again is, because that's going to be a few years down the road, especially considering how long pilot training is and what the Air Force is doing at that time. And there's no saying, honestly. The world is becoming pretty, I don't know, it depends on where you look. We don't really know where we're going to be 4 or 5 years from now. And so, at least not, I mean, we can speculate, but no one can say with absolute certainty. So I may deploy again, but if I don't, I am now officially considered a veteran of a foreign war, having deployed to Afghanistan, having done even my short, 4.5 month stint there. Again, thank you, Air Force, for keeping our deployments short. Honestly, I could have done another 4 months over there and not even batted an eye. Because it was, like I said, it wasn't too terrible of a deployment. And it was a good experience overall. Honestly, the hardest part of the whole thing was just being so far away from friends and family. Seeing the status updates on Facebook about hanging out with this person, going here, doing this. It was just hard to see everyone else living their lives and not being able to be a part of it. So that was honestly the hardest thing. But, it is what it is. And that's just part of the hardships of being in the military. Even in the States, I have my friends here. I have family relatively close by, but I can only visit them so often. And when I say relatively close by, I mean like a 6-hour drive to Texas. And soon an 8-hour drive to Georgia, to Atlanta. So, but, it is what it is. It's just, military moves you around, and the only time you really have family close by is that when you eventually make a family of your own. You marry, you get kids, and you have your family, your family there. And so it very rarely as military are you put where your parents are, where your brothers and sisters are, where where any close family is. For me, my family's pretty spread out. I've got some in New York, some in Florida, some in North and South Carolina, some in Texas, everywhere. Kind of just, so it is what it is, again, and we'll see. Any delays with my YouTube channel, any occurrences with my YouTube channel will always be dependent on my military lifestyle. If I get back into officer commissioning, I'll probably be taking a break from my YouTube channel for a while to focus on that. And that will probably be a year's worth. But at the same time, I don't want to take a break from it completely. Even if it's just a monthly upload of every single replay that you guys have sent me, because I might not be playing World of Tanks so much at that time. That's what it will have to be. But I feel like I've rambled on long enough. I can't really think of anything else, excuse me, that needs to be said or that I want to say, because most of this video, after I got past the initial update and the message, it was just stuff I wanted to say, stuff I felt like saying, stuff I kind of rambled on and wanted to get out there. But again, I like being a real person with you guys. I like showing you who I am, giving you my thoughts, giving you my life status, so you get a bit of a better picture as to what's going on with my life. And that's kind of the whole situation. Now, you could say, why don't you ever I've gone over this in the past. Why don't you ever edit or cut out different parts of your little vlogs here with your webcam? And that's simply because Sony Vegas does not like the format my webcam saves the video files in, which means I can't really edit it, so it's always a one and done. If I mess it up too much, I have to restart, and I try not to mess it up too much. I try to just be very impromptu, very kind of public speaking forum of a sort. And that, it honestly helps me to be a little bit of a public speaker and a little bit of a better of a speech giver. Honestly, this whole YouTube channel has helped me in that regard extensively. If you watch my earlier videos, you can tell I am not nearly as good, I guess is one way of putting it. Just bluntly saying it, that I've come a long way. There's a lot more inflection in my voice. It's a lot easier to kind of hear my confidence, a lot easier to hear my progress is, between my videos now and my videos back then. I feel like this YouTube channel, not only has it been fun, it has helped to make me a better public person. And by that, I mean, you have to understand, an officer in the Air Force has to be able to communicate. And this has definitely helped me with my verbal communication. So I appreciate you guys suffering with me through the long process over the past, it's been over 2 years now, actually. Since I've revamped my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel has existed for a long time, but it's been 2 years now since I got back into it. And honestly, that happened about the same time I had to take a step back. Was kind of, those life circumstances came up and made me go enlisted instead of commissioning into being an officer. I started this about that same time, where I was making that transition from officer training to the enlisted side. So a lot of things have changed in the past 2 years, and I think mostly for the better. And I appreciate you guys being there with me, even if you're a new subscriber or viewer, and even if you're just coming in. You've been with me since the beginning, since even before I started my World of Tanks stuff, and you've just kept up with me throughout the the many stages of my YouTube channel. I really appreciate every single one of you guys. Whenever you leave a comment on my videos, as long as it's constructive, or even if it's just a feel-good comment, I appreciate it. And if you watch this long to hear my thank you message, we're 33 minutes in right now. I don't know how I held your attention this long. I truly don't. But again, thank you guys. Any more updates will probably be just given in the form of my YouTube channel. Honestly, I need to start getting away from that. I was going to say my YouTube channel commentaries is where I'll probably just be making future updates, but I don't like that format. I think it's a bad format because I think my commentaries should strictly be focused on the events of the game, strictly focused on immediate updates related to the commentaries, but anything related to my channel should just be uploaded in a separate video like this. It really should. That's just to avoid talking about things in my commentaries that aren't relevant to the commentaries, that aren't, the reason you're coming to watch the commentaries. And I shouldn't, honestly, if you want to hear updates, you should just be able to look for the videos where I'm talking and watch those instead. You shouldn't have to suffer through a commentary to hear about this one update, about this one contest, or this one team I'm putting together for maybe a skirmish or something, or maybe hear about this, new direction I'm taking my channel that I kind of just mentioned at the end of a video. I should, again, I'll be getting away from that. I'm critiquing my own stuff here. But anyway, again, thank you guys for being so awesome and watching my stuff. And again, if I've held your attention for this long, coming up on 35 minutes, have no idea how you have an attention span like this, but especially special thanks to you. And yeah, you guys take it easy. Be on the lookout for those commentaries. Be on the lookout for Let's Plays. And start sending me your 9.1 replays, because 9.1 is out today. So, yes, do that. I will be more than glad to take a look at them, especially considering I don't have many replays at the moment, so I do need content. So, anyway, thank you guys one last time. And this has been Spang, and I am signing off.